Hello everyone, welcome back to Learn English with Podcast. I am so excited to have you all here for episode 16. Today, we have a fantastic show lined up just for you. I'm your host, and I will be guiding you through an exciting journey to learn English in a fun and engaging way. So, sit back, relax, and let's get started. First, let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried learning English with a podcast before? If you have, you know how much fun it can be. And if you haven't, well, you're in for a treat. Podcasts are a great way to learn because you can listen to them anytime, anywhere. Whether you are driving, cooking, or just relaxing, you can always tune in and improve your English skills. Now, let's dive into our topic for today. We are going to talk about funny stories and life lessons. I believe that learning English doesn't have to be boring. In fact, it should be fun and exciting. So, let's start with a funny story. Have you ever heard the story about the talking dog? Yes, you heard me right. A talking dog. Once upon a time, there was a man who had a dog named Max. Max was no ordinary dog. One day, the man decided to sell Max, so he put up a sign in his yard that said, "Talking dog for sale." A neighbor walking by saw the sign and thought, this must be a joke. But he was curious, so he knocked on the man's door. The man invited him in and took him to the backyard where Max was sitting. The neighbor, still skeptical, asked the dog, "Can you talk?" To everyone's surprise, Max replied, "Yes, I can." The neighbor's eyes widened in disbelief. "This is incredible," he exclaimed. "How did you learn to talk?" Max wagged his tail and said, "Well, it's a long story. I learned to talk when I was working with the CIA. They trained me to eavesdrop on conversations and gather intelligence. After that, I worked undercover in many countries, listening to top secret discussions. I've had a very interesting life." The neighbor was amazed. He turned to the man and asked, "How much do you want for this talking dog?" The man shrugged and said, $10. $10? That's it? Why so cheap?" The man replied, "Because he is a liar. He didn't do any of those things." Isn't that hilarious? I hope that made you laugh. Funny stories like this not only entertain us, but also teach us valuable lessons. In this case, the lesson is that not everything we hear is true, and sometimes we need to question what we are told. Now, let me ask you, what's the funniest thing that has ever happened to you? Think about it for a moment. Funny experiences are great to share because they make us laugh and bring us closer together. They also help us remember new words and phrases because they are connected to strong emotions. Here's another funny story for you. One day, Timmy was visiting his grandmother's house. His grandmother loved to bake cookies and Timmy loved to eat them. While his grandmother was busy in the kitchen, Timmy decided to explore the house. He found himself in the living room, where there was a big, old-fashioned phone. Timmy picked up the phone and said, "Hello?" To his surprise, a voice on the other end said, "Hello, this is the library. How can I help you?" Timmy, thinking quickly, replied, "Do you have any cookies?" The librarian chuckled and said, "I'm sorry, but we only have books here." Timmy was a bit disappointed, but not discouraged. He asked, "Do you have any books about cookies?" Ahem. The librarian smiled and said, "Yes, we do. Come by the library and we can help you find some." Timmy ran to his grandmother and told her all about the conversation. She laughed and said, Timmy, you're a clever boy. Let's go to the library and find those cookie books. They went to the library, found some great cookie recipes, and baked the most delicious cookies together. Timmy learned an important lesson that day. If you ask the right questions, you can find the answers you're looking for. What do you think about Timmy's story? It's funny and sweet, just like the cookies he loves. Stories like these are a fantastic way to learn new words and phrases. For example, in Timmy's story, we learned words like librarian, recipes, and explore. All these words are useful in everyday conversations. Now, let's switch gears a little. How about we play a little game? It's called Guess the Word. I will describe something and you have to guess what it is. Are you ready? Here we go. I am a place where you can borrow books. What am I? Did you guess library? If you did, great job. I am something sweet that you bake in an oven. What am I? Did you guess cookie? Well done. I am a four-legged animal that can bark. What am I? Did you guess dog? Excellent. This game is not only fun, but also helps you practice your vocabulary. You can play it with your friends and family too. It's a great way to learn together. Speaking of learning together, let me tell you about another funny incident. This one is about my friend John. John is a bit clumsy, and funny things always happen to him. One day, he decided to take a cooking class. He wanted to impress his friends with his cooking skills. The first dish they were going to make was a simple salad. The instructor gave everyone a list of ingredients and instructions. John was doing great until it was time to add the dressing. The recipe called for a pinch of salt. John, however, thought it said a punch of salt. So he took a big handful of salt and threw it into the salad. When the instructor came to check on his progress, she took one bite and almost choked. John, how much salt did you put in here? She asked. John proudly replied, just a punch of salt, like the recipe said. The whole class burst into laughter. The instructor kindly explained the difference between a pinch and a punch. John learned a valuable lesson that day. Isn't that a funny story? It also teaches us the importance of understanding instructions correctly. Sometimes, small mistakes can lead to big laughs.